You're all on mute right now. So if you have a question at some point, you can either raise your hand on the participant pane, or you can use the chat feature and chat a question, and I will relay it to Blaine. Blaine, it's all yours.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Please gather around the campfire and let's learn about what Cub Scouts can earn beyond adventures, as well as figure out some things that some of their leaders can earn. Due to technical issues, I'm not able to do the slides, so you'll be hearing me say, next slide, please, to our helpful moderator, John. Next slide, please. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm not the uniformed police, and I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. You got to do it this way. Rather, I'm here to let you know, hey, there are all these great awards. Some of them go on the uniform and they go here, and others don't go on the uniform, so please don't put them on. You can put them on a patch vest or a patch jacket or something else like that. And this is all based on the Guide to Awards and Insignia, which is available for free on the BSA website. You should always refer to that whenever you have questions. All right, next slide, please. All right, so there are some awards that everybody gets just for showing up, and we're gonna look at those. Next slide, please. First one is this attendance award. Sometimes it's called perfect attendance. This is for Scouts only. The criteria are set by the unit, and basically you can give it as an award for a Scout who attends every meeting or who misses only a very small number of meetings. And you will see this pattern here. So I'm going to show you the award here, and then give you the name, and then in red, and then in blue, I'll have some comments about it. All right, next slide, please. So here we have the founder's bar. Oh, there's something odd with the slide. That goes right below the unit number and is for both Scouts and Scouters. If somebody joins a unit at any time, there we go, that looks better. At any time before the first recharter, they are allowed to wear the founder bar beneath the unit numbers. All right, next slide, please. Okay, service stars. Now, if you're able to see my video, you might see that I have a few service stars on my uniform. These are optional, they're not required, but everybody is entitled to wear them. They go above the left pocket, above any square knots you might have. With the gold background, it represents the number of years you've been in Cub Scouts. Green background would be the number of years in Scouts BSA or Boy Scouts, if you were in it then. Red is for venturing and Sea Scouts, also the former exploring program. Brown background for Varsity Scouts, which has been discontinued. And blue is for adult Scouters only. Next slide, please. So these service stars, the blue Scouter stars, only Scouters have the option of either wearing one star per program, like I have. I've got one for Cub Scouts, one for Boy Scouts, and one for my tenure as an adult Scouter. Or at your discretion, you may wear that all as a blue star. Now, once upon a time, they made 11, 12, 13. Now they just do 1 through 9, and then 10, 20, 30. So if you've been doing it 11 years, then you would need a 10 and a 1. Next slide, please. There's also a special star for those who were Tiger Cubs. So if you were a Tiger Cub between 1982 and 2002, you may, if you wish, wear a numberless star with the orange background. You could also combine this with all your Cub Scout years in one star on a yellow background, or of course, combine all your scouting experience in 1 or 2 blue background stars. Next slide, please. Okay, so the patch on the right is actually my pack, 125, and we were founded in 1967. So in 1917, we got these brand new patches that show the 50-year veteran bar. And the veteran bar goes above the unit number and is worn by both scouts and scouters. We see that there are special colors at 75 and 100. The veteran status starts at 25 and goes up, I believe, in 5-year increments from there. It might be 10-year, except for 75. I don't recall exactly. Next slide, please. All right, so here we have veteran pins for, excuse me, for scouters. This is for those who have been in the BSA for 5 years or longer, and this includes youth membership. So as soon as but it's only available to adult scouters. So as soon as I joined up as an adult scouter, I found out about this, like, oh, wow, lucky me. I get the 5-year star because I was in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts long enough to be automatically qualified for it. This year, I had put in enough time as an adult scouter to earn the 10-year pin. Now, there are special pins at 25, 50, and 75. And as you can see in the upper right, it goes all the way to 90. I think very few people will be eligible for this, but it's there. It's only for non-uniform wear. So put that on your badge, your patch jacket or something like that. Next slide, please. Here we've got the miniature rank pins, often called parent pins. These are given by some packs to the adults who help their Cub Scouts. The Guide to Uniform and Awards and Insignia says non-uniform wear. So again, this is not something we want to put on our uniforms, but there's one for each rank. There are ribbons and lanyards and whatnot that the Scout shop sometimes sells. People do things unofficially. Sometimes people put them on their hats. These are fun little ways to recognize that the parents too have a role in helping their Scouts earn rank. Next slide, please. All right, now here are some awards that Cub Scouts must earn. Every Cub Scout has to get these. Next slide, please. So first of all is a cyber chip. This is a temporary patch, goes on the right pocket, and this is for Scouts only. The first time it's earned, we get the patch, and the second time and subsequent times, we get the little recharge pin. Now, my understanding is that this is going to be phased out after the end of this scouting year. Right now, we have I've forgotten the term now, but there's a provisional award that all Scouts at all ranks can earn called the Protect Yourself Rules Adventure. Oops. And apparently that is going to replace Cyberchip. But for now, Scouts may earn either Cyberchip or Protect Yourself Rules. Next slide, please. Whittling Chip. This is something that Cub Scouts really look forward to. Starts at bears and above may earn it. Bears and Webelos actually need to earn it for, well, bears and Arrow of Light actually need to earn it for certain adventures. This whittling chip originally was supposed to go on the V-pointed bottom of the old uniform shirt. When they upgraded the shirts to a flat bottom, they said, yeah, no. So now, according to the Guide to Awards and Insignia, it is not for uniform wear. So this should instead go on, again, the patch vest or patch jacket or something like that. Next slide, please. All right, so those are the required awards, and now we're going to get participation awards. And these are for participation in certain designated events with the criteria set by the union. Next, please. All right, so we've got these Derby or Regatta medals. So from the left, it's the Pinewood Derby, and the center is the Rain Gutter Regatta, and the right we see the Space Derby. Now this would go immediately above the left pocket. You may wear up to 5 medals on the at the top of the left pocket, so they would squeeze in between the pocket flap and the knots. Now, for some reason, the Space Derby medals are marked down, and I checked it recently. They're still marked down. I checked it earlier this month, I think, and they're still marked down. They're still available, but marked down. Don't know why. Next slide, please. Okay, there are also Derby and Regatta neck medals that may be worn around the neck. So we have gold, silver, and bronze, and we're showing Pinewood Derby, Rain Gutter Regatta, and Space Derby. Next slide, please. There are also these handsome trophies, and you can get the little plaque at the bottom engraved. Next, please. There are also these car-shaped Pinewood Derby trophies, and some packs make their own. Next slide, please. There are also Derby or Regatta Participation Awards, such as the ribbons we see at the top, the cards we see at the right, and then our council produces a number of, produces a patch for the Pinewood Derby every year with the year number. Or no, that's not our council, that's actually national, I'm sorry. And this year, finally, they made it into a temporary patch with the loop, so it can hang on the button on the shirt. And those are fun to collect. All right, next slide, please. All right, so then there are activity awards that can be earned by participating in certain activities. All right, next slide, please. So here's the California Coastal Cleanup from last year. It's a temporary patch, which means it goes on the right pocket. It can be worn by Scouts and Scouters, and this is earned by participating in the California Coastal Cleanup, an annual event. This year it was any day in September. Go to any coast. It could be the ocean, but also a river or lake, and spend an hour picking up trash. And last year's patch was designed by my daughter, who is a scout in a local troop. So I just had to show off my, proud papa here, have to show off my daughter's work. Next slide, please. All right, there's also the Conservation Good Turn Award. This is something that's going to be done typically by the entire pack. It can also be done by troops and other units. There are a number of steps to go through with this. It's not a particularly simple award to earn, but it is a pretty impressive one. That's also a temporary patch that may be worn on the right pocket. Next slide, please. International Spirit can be earned by both Scouts and Scouters. There are different criteria depending on the Scout's rank. Adults have different criteria. Many of them are the same with overlap, but as you get older, there are more and more things to do. So there are a number of things where just showing this where you explore the international brotherhood of scouting and learn more about it. Again, a temporary patch that can go in the right pocket. Next slide, please. Here we have Jamboree on the air, internet, and Jamboree on the trails. So we just had Jamboree on the internet and on the air this past weekend. I hope everybody participated. We also had a special one earlier in, I think it was April this year, the special COVID edition. But the Jamboree on the air, Jamboree on the internet is normally the same third weekend in October. Scouts from around the world connect either via ham radio in the case of Jamboree on the air or the internet, case of Jamboree on the internet, obviously, and chat with each other and learn about each other and what they do in their scouting units. Jamboree on the trail is kind of just this fun thing that someone, I think they're in Washington, who says, okay, everybody go out and hike on the second weekend of May. And if you can't do it then, we'll go hike any other time. And then write in and tell me how many patches you want and I'll sell them to you. So it's just kind of this idea that we'll all go out hiking together. All right, next slide, please.
Blaine?
Yes.
Jennifer has a question from the chat. She asks, will this presentation be sent out after the class?
that kind of depends. The slides are way too big to go in email. I might be able to squeeze the PDF small enough. The graphics take up huge amounts of room in the file, and it's just really enormous. I would like to share it. I think the easy way to do is actually to get it shared via Google Drive, and I can send out that link.
Yeah, so another piece of this puzzle is that we are actually recording each of these classes that are not venturing classes. So eventually these will be on the council YouTube channel. So you can, if you wish, go back and watch this presentation again, and you can get to the slides that way too. Did that answer your question, Jennifer?
Okay,
Awesome.
Great. Happy to hear it. All right, next slide, please. Pardon me. Okay, so messengers of peace. There are specific yet, to my mind, very nebulous criteria for earning this. It seems actually fairly easy to earn. It's typically done as there's some sort of project that promotes peace. And that's what I find hard to work with. It's not specific enough for my concrete mind. But the details can be found online. Just if you do an online search for Messengers of Peace, goes around the world crest, and anybody who participates may wear this. Next slide, please. Monterey Bay Trekkers. This is one of my favorites. So there's this huge center patch that starts it off. And then there are the rockers, the little squares that go around for each individual hike. So you go on these 8 different hikes in the greater Monterey area. Not all of them are in Monterey County. And if you go, there's a specific trail you're supposed to follow. Most of the hikes can be done by scouts of any age. Some of them are recommended only for older scouts because the terrain's a little more difficult or it's a little bit longer. But honestly, I haven't seen a tiger who couldn't outrun everybody else in the pack on any of these hikes. You'll notice that Pico Blanco is one of the hikes, and unfortunately, since the Soberanez fire and the heavy rains that same year, we haven't been able to get to Pico Blanco, but we're looking forward to the day when we can go back and earn that one. Also, in the wake of this year's fires, I understand that Wilder Ranch and Garland Ranch have limited or restricted access. I know that Point Lobos hasn't necessarily been open during the fires, but it was not damaged, so it should be open now. These are all great hikes. They're really fun. Each has its own character. Wonderful way to get out and explore, and then get this wonderful memento of the trip. And then this is really great for a patch vest, and you can see each one going on over time, and it's just really fun. All right, next slide, please. All right, the National Summertime Award. This is for Cub Scouts only, and we have 4 of them for tigers, wolves, bears, and Webelos Scouts. The new bear pin has the light blue rather than the old teal. There's only one for Webelos, so you can earn it in either year of the Webelos program. And there is none for lions, and I don't think there ever will be because there's not a summer program for lions. Lions aren't supposed to officially join until about August. And then by the time the end of the next school year rolls around, then they're tigers and they can earn the Tiger Award. And these are earned by participating in summertime events. The criteria are on the BSA website. Just go to the BSA's, do a summertime search, or excuse me, a web search for National Summertime Award BSA, and you'll get the hit in the top. Go right there. Next slide, please. This is the old pin that was for all ranks as well as for scouters. Scouters got it by tagging along with their scouts, but this is no longer available, although you might find it on I don't know, eBay. Yeah. Next slide, please. So here's the Outdoor Activity Award. This one has a lot more specific criteria, and as the Scouts get older, there are more things that they're supposed to do. For the last one that we saw, National Summertime Award, you just have to participate in an activity in each month of the summer, June, July, and August. This one is more year-round and includes having to go to like a day camp or a council-sponsored camp of some sort or another. I've forgotten the exact criteria, but it is there in the award. Again, you can find all the details at the BSA's website. The first award is this flap that goes on, this patch that goes on the right pocket flap. The second and subsequent awards are the wolf patch, or I'm sorry, the wolf paw print pin. Unfortunately, due to dangerously high levels of lead for something for children, these paw prints have all been recalled and they're not currently available in the Scout shop. This is about the 5th time in the 5 years I've been in Cub Scouts with my son that some made in China pin has been found, or award has been found to be dangerous due to lead and has had to be recalled. I'm really sorry about that. And I just hope that the BSA will find a more safety-minded provider of items in the future. So for now, I don't know what to do for the second and subsequent awards. Next slide, please. Here we have the recruiter strip, again, only for Scouts, and criteria set by the pack. So typically it's, if a Scout asks someone to join the pack and they do, the one who recruited the other Scout gets the strip. Next slide, please. All right, so here we have the Scout Strong and awards. There are 2. The one on the left is a Healthy Unit Award. It can be earned either at the den or the pack level. And this one is actually really easy to earn. Over a course of the year, you have to do 3 things, 6 things, and 9 things. And I think I've forgotten which is which, but the 3 criteria are 15 minutes of activity at meetings. 3 is definitely serve a healthy snack or healthy food. And the other one is serve water as an option for a beverage. Now, when my den was wolves, we earned this hardly we didn't even have to try. At all of our events that had food, somebody brought something healthy like fruit or vegetables. We had water to drink from the drinking fountain in our meeting place, and getting 15 minutes of activity for Cub Scouts, pretty easy. Just let them have 15 minutes to run around, or a hike counts, or 15 minutes of playing a game, and before you know it, you've got this one earned. Very easy to earn, lots of fun. The Scout Strong Presidential Active Lifestyle Award is quite a bit more challenging. This requires a steady, almost daily series of exercise, half an hour for adults and an hour for youth, over, I want to say a 2-month period. It might be 3 months. It's been a while since I've looked at the exact criteria, but it's basically getting out and exercising every day. So that's a very active lifestyle. These are both temporary patches that would go on the right pocket. Next slide, please. All right, World Conservation Award. This is one of the most popular awards amongst Cub Scouts because it's such a cute patch. Youth and above may earn it. It's for youth only. There are also versions that can be earned on Scouts BSA and Venturing, but they have different backgrounds and different colors. Can be earned more than once, but only one per year, and only one can be won at a time. Now, you will see some scouts wearing it above the left pocket, and apparently that was the place to put it very briefly. I think it looks great there. The official place to put it is on the right pocket. So for now, that's where it's supposed to go. And you could also, of course, put it on any patch vest or something like that. Next slide, please. Okay, on to training awards. So if you get some sorts of specific training, you can get an award for it. Next slide, please. First one we're looking at is the Emergency Preparedness Award. So this goes centered on the left pocket flap, like I have on mine. On the left, we have the generic one. And then on the right, there's the bronze, silver, and gold, which represent certain levels of achievement by the unit. That part has been phased out. And in fact, the award has been sunsetted as of February of last year, which means that they're not going to be updating the requirements and they're not going to be producing more of the pins. So if you want your scouts to earn this, great. But before you do that, make sure you can get enough of the pins to award them. Next slide, please. Okay, train strips. So this is for scouters only. Goes below your position patch, so Cub Master, Den Leader, whatnot. And this is if you complete all of the online training, which is also sometimes offered in person, but all of the training for your position. So we as Cub Scouters should wear the red one, like we see on the left. If you are a scouter with a troop, then wearing the one with green is more appropriate. All right, next slide, please. Okay, here we have the Shooting Sports Award. And again, it's for tigers, wolves, bears, and webelos. No award for lions, because lions are not allowed to use BB guns. Also, webelos being one program, this can be earned at any point during the 2-year Webelos program. And the patch is earned once per year by meeting certain criteria. And then if you go above and beyond, you may earn the pin for that same discipline. So you could start with, for example, earning it for BB gun, and then if you go just to level 1, you get the patch. And then if you go to level 2, you'll get the pin. And then if you go to level 2 in any remaining discipline, you get that pin too. Now, as you probably know, our council offers shooting sports days at Cheeseboro. Most of them are in the fall, but recently they've also been doing them in March. And it's a half a day spent on the range using one of these items and earning the second level, so you get the patch and the pin for the discipline. And that's been a lot of fun for me and my son. And I strongly encourage you to do this. This is a great way for our youth to get experience with shooting sports. And as you know, everything in Scouts is safety first. So they really learn the safety for using these things safely, for how to shoot safely, how to be safe on the range, because nobody wants an injured Cub Scout. And this, I think, is just a great program, and I'm so glad it's available. I don't know what's going on in terms of physical distancing. My son and I haven't done it this year. I understand that they have been scheduled and have been held, but I don't know any of the details about this year. Next slide, please.
Blaine, we have another question from the chat. Victoria asks, will the council have socially distanced ranged opportunities for the kids soon, or not until March?
So the last one for this year was in October. Was I think 2 weekends ago, week and a half ago. So there will be no more. And I do need to point out that shooting sports for Cub Scouts are approved only at the council level. You may not do shooting sports at the PAC level. Please do not do that. You put yourself and your chartering organization at risk, at legal liability, if you do shooting sports at the PAC level. So please don't. Always do it at the council level. Back when we used to have Cub Scout camps, you know that the ranges were open. But because of the fast pace and the short times, there really wasn't the opportunity for Scouts to earn the shooting sports awards at Cub Scout family camp. Some day camps might have done it, but not family camps. So to the best of my knowledge, so in the years past, there's never been shooting sports in November through February. And I don't expect that to change this year, but I'm not part of the council's shooting sports committee, so I don't know. Next slide, please. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Okay, so as you know, a Scout is reverent, and a Scout, we all pledge to do our duty to God. So this is very important in Scouting, and so there are awards for this. Next slide, please. So religious emblems. Now, these awards are not awarded by the BSA. There are churches and other religious organizations that set up awards for their youth in a wide variety of faith traditions, and working with a pastor, priest, minister, or whatever sort of spiritual leader normally, youth can earn an award, which is authorized to be worn on the uniform, although there is a specific list of authorized awards. You can find out which ones specifically are authorized by searching for religious awards on the BSA webpage. And then to represent this award, which is typically a medal, youth are awarded this silver square knot on a purple background. And this would then be worn centered above the left pocket. This represents the award. It's not the award itself. For formal occasions like, say, maybe the blue and gold banquet, you might have the Scout wear his medals. But this would be for regular wear. Then you notice we've got these little pins here. Those are called devices. On the left, we have the Cub Scout device, and on the right, we have the Webelos device. Depending on the specific organization, there may be more than one award, that religious award, that youths may earn. If they are earned by bears or younger, then they may wear the square knot with the Cub Scout device on it. If it's earned by Webelos Scouts, then the knot may be worn with the Webelos device on it. And if a Scout earns both the younger and the older youth award, then both devices may be worn. There are also devices for older youth, the Scouts BSA device and the venturing device, and those may also be worn. So in theory, you could see 4 of these little devices on top of one of these knots. This knot may be worn by Scouters if they earned a religious award as a youth. You do not have to have been a Scout when you earn the award, but you have to have earned a youth religious award. All right, next slide, please. There are some religious awards for adults. And you notice the colors are reversed. Again, this is not the award itself. It represents the award. All of the religious awards I've seen, and I can hardly say I've seen all of them, but the ones I've seen, they are by nomination. An adult may not nominate himself for earning one of these awards. So getting this is pretty special. I have to admit, I haven't seen anyone wearing it, but I would love to hear the story of anybody who does have it. Next slide, please. We also have Scout Sunday or Scout Sabbath. So here's a temporary patch from last year, the patch from this year. There are also neckerchiefs available. I think I've even seen neckerchief slides. This is typically, Scout Sunday is typically the second Sunday in February, around the time of the anniversary of the founding of the BSA, which was of course February 8th. And this is one where different religious organizations will have different feelings about this. I've heard that in some churches, they have their scouts come up and they are awarded the religious awards that they've earned. They have some sort of a special part of the services. Yet in other churches, they'll be, yeah, this is not really something that we think is appropriate to include as the way we worship. So if you want to participate in Scout Sunday, I think the most basic idea is attend church on Scout Sunday. There may be more to it than that. Check with your religious organization. Check out the documentation, which you can find on the BSA website, and see how that works for you. Next slide, please. Okay, so STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, has gotten increasingly important in recent years. There are some awards for our scouts for wolves and above that they can get. Next slide, please. So here we have the Nova Award. This requires adult supervision, and there's a specific position to be fulfilled for that, to be applied for and filled out, submitted, excuse me. And this program has been updated and expanded several times in the past few years. And there are a whole bunch of awards focusing on different STEM areas. For the first award, you get the temporary patch, as we see in the middle. For the second and subsequent awards, you get the little triangle-shaped pin with the Greek letter pi on it. These are for the scouts who are really excited about science, or a good way to get scouts more interested in STEM topics. Next slide, please. There are also 2 Supernova Awards that scouts can earn, Cub Scouts. On the left, we have the Louis W. Alvarez Supernova Award, which is for wolves and bears. On the right, we have the Charles H. Towns Supernova Award, which is for Webelos Scouts. This is a much deeper and more thorough exploration of STEM than the Nova Awards. The award itself is this handsome neck medal to indicate, but that's not the sort of thing that you want to wear every time. So to indicate, excuse me, that you've earned the award, a scout may get the bronze colored Supernova medal bar that goes above the left pocket. So that would be above square knots, but below service stars. Next slide, please. Okay, there are a number of optional insignia. They're not awards, but they're insignia, kind of like the Boy Scouts of America strip on our uniforms, or the that are part of it, but not. It's not really something. In these cases, these are optional. You don't have to wear them, and there's nothing that it's not really earned in the sense that an award is, although there are criteria to be met. Next slide, please. Okay, amateur radio operator. Basically, if you're a licensed ham radio operator, you can wear this. It goes below the Journey to Excellence patch on the right sleeve. Unfortunately, this has been discontinued. So if you already have one of these strips and you've earned it, great. If you haven't, you might be able to find one, in the patch market. There are lots of people who are into trading and selling patches. You might find some on eBay or someplace like that, but you might even find them in a scout shop. But the BSA no longer makes these. Next slide, please. Interpreter strip. So this goes above the BSA strip, above the right pocket. only one at a time, and there are criteria to be met for this. So here we have Cantonese, Taiwanese Mandarin, mainland Mandarin, Arabic, Vietnamese, Russian. There are also strips, of course, for more familiar languages to most of us, such as French, German, Spanish, Italian, as well as several others, including Morse code and American Sign Language. There are specific criteria that have to be met in terms of literacy and being able to translate and communicate and carry on a conversation in the language in question. What these are saying is, hey, you know, if you speak this language, then I can serve as an impromptu translator for you in whatever thing is going on. All right, next slide, please. All right, this is also just totally for fun. These are name tags and no requirements. Anybody can wear one. There are lots of different fun designs. Some of them can be obtained from the BSA's site. Some of them are available from third-party manufacturers. As you can see, you know, on the top right, we've got the BSA Cub Scout one. Next one is Scouts BSA. You can have 1 line or 2 lines. There's a wood badge one. There's Order of the Arrow ones. All kinds of fun ones. Next slide, please. Okay, World Crest Ring. No criteria. Anybody can wear this. Next slide, please. All right, there are group awards. These awards, I think, might be just repeats of ones that we've already looked at. Pardon me. But these are earned not by individuals, but by groups. Den or the pack. Next slide, please. So we already saw Conservation Good Turn Award. This is typically earned by an entire pack. Next slide, please. Journey to Excellence. Okay, this is also earned by the entire pack. So we have bronze, silver, and gold. We see also that there's a possibility of having the 100% Boys Life. That's if everybody in your unit is subscribed to Boys Life. So this goes on the right sleeve in what's called position 3, which is about 4 inches down from the shoulder, worn by Scouts and Scouters. Next slide, please. National Den Award. This goes on the Den flag. I'm not sure what's going on with this because it's still on scouting.org. I checked again this month. It's still there, but I haven't seen it in the Scout shop online in a long time. Your Scout shop might have them. Your Scout shop might be able to order them from another Scout shop, but I just don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not being provided to the stores. Next slide, please. So National Summertime Den Award, this is if half or more of your den participates in summer activities. And it doesn't have to be the same Scouts every time. If you've got, say, 6 Scouts in your den and Alfred, Bill, and Charlie participate in June, and then Daniel, Everett, and Fred participate in July, and then 3 more participate in August, you're in the award. Now, on our previous one, the criteria are quite a bit more challenging to meet. It's throughout the year. This one is just for what you do in the summer, and again, would go on the den flag. I suppose there'd be no problem with putting it on a den doodle if that's what you have. Next slide, please. And here's a National Summertime Pack Award. In order to earn this, a pack has to have at least one event per month in the summer. So 1 event in June, 1 in July, 1 in August. It's okay if no one shows up. As long as you schedule them, your pack earns the award. And this can go on the pack flag. Next slide, please. Okay, we talked about Scout Strong Healthy Unit Award, earned by Den or Pack, worn by Scouts or Scouters. Again, really easy to earn. Criteria are not challenging. So please check that out and see if that's something you can motivate your scouts to earn. Next slide, please. All right, so there are some awards for earning all the adventures at a certain rank. Next slide, please. Here we have these Super Achiever patches that are unofficial. I've forgotten the exact website that sells them, but if you just do an online search, I'm sure you can find them. We see them for the lower ranks, and so that would be for earning all the belt loops at that rank. Next slide, please. There are also ones for earning Webelos. So in the old program up to 2016, until the 2015 revision, there were 20 Webelos adventure pins. Then in the new program, we got 27. Now they're with the inclusion of the trial awards, the Protect Yourself rules and yo-yo, and maybe even some more than that. So there is no longer an official BSA produced patch, but the same people that produce the previous 4 also produce the Webelos Super Achiever patch we see in the center. So the ones on the left and right have been discontinued by the BSA. Next slide, please. Okay, so there are a bunch of awards just for scouters. Next slide, please. So trained, we talked about that before. If you've completed the training for your position, committee member, committee chair, cub master, assistant cub master, den leader, assistant den leader, you should be awarded the red one on the left. Next slide, please. Den Leader Training Award. So this one can be earned in a year by serving a year as a den leader. It's available for den leaders at all levels. Again, we have devices. What we see here are the Tiger, Cub Scout, and Webelos device. There is no Lion device, but Lion den leaders may earn it. Again, if it can be earned more than once, but only one Den Leader Training Award Square Knot is worn at a time. The award itself is the medal on the right. Someone who's earned it more than once may wear the appropriate device on the knot or on the ribbon of the medal. Next slide, please. Here's a Scouters Training Award. Again, a medal and a knot that represents it. This takes about a year to earn and requires many things similar to the Den Leaders Training Award. But this one is earned based on what part of scouting you're in. So the devices here are for Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, Venturing, and Sea Scouts. So you may earn it once for every time you are associated with the unit in that branch of scouting. Next slide, please.
Okay, so from the chat, Miranda posts a link there for the Super Achiever patch. So if anybody's interested,
Miranda.
Go ahead and look at that or get that link and bookmark it into your website, your web page.
Thanks for that, Miranda. I appreciate it. Okay, next slide, please. We also have the Unit Leader Award of Merit. This can be earned in 18 months by only the unit leader. So that's a Cub Master at our level. That would also be for the other programs, Scoutmaster, Advisor, and Skipper. So that's what the Square Knot looks like. Oops. If it's earned more than once, you only wear the one Square Knot, but then you wear the devices for the programs in which it is earned. And you might know that our regular Cub Master patch looks like this, except it's a silver rim and no star. So the award itself is the special patch with the gold rim and the star above the program symbol. Next slide, please. There's also the Scouters Key Award for, at our level, we would call it the Cub Masters Key Award. This is, again, only earnable by leaders, and it takes 3 years, a minimum of 3 years to earn. However, 1 year of that may be as an assistant Cub Master. So this is kind of delving deeper into service and takes more time. Again, earnable only by Cub Masters, Scout Masters, advisors, and skippers, with the caveat that at least at our level, you may serve, of those 3 years of service, one may be as assistant Cub Master. Next slide, please. Okay, Wood Badge. So if you haven't been to Wood Badge, you should go. Wood Badge is fantastic. And I would go further and say it's transformative. So what we see on the left is the neckerchief, with the axe in the log and the Troop 1 number, and that's worn by course participants. You are issued it on the first day of course, and you wear it until you complete the entire program. So those of you who don't know, you start with 2 different weekends of training while camping, and then you have to work on projects, 5 different projects that will improve you as a scouter and are of service to the unit or units you serve. So, for example, 2 of my, and together those 5 items are called the ticket, and we say work your ticket. So 2 of my ticket items, one was to take wilderness first aid. So that made me an asset for first aid for any outing with any unit I was with. Another thing is I'm an assistant scoutmaster for a brand new girl troop. And so that was another bit of service to a unit that counted as part of my overall ticket project. Once you complete all of your ticket items, then you are awarded the taupe neckerchief on the right, as well as the beads and the leather woggle. Now, unlike other neckerchiefs, which may be worn with civilian clothes, Wood Badge neckerchiefs are to be worn with the uniform only. However, we do have the option of wearing the beads without the neckerchief, but again, only with the uniform. Next slide, please. Okay, these are 2 very special awards. These are for people who provide extraordinary service to youth with disabilities. So the Torch of Gold, we see that on the left. There's only 1 awarded per council per year. The Wood Services Award is really extraordinary. You get to wear the Community Award Knot, but there's only 1 awarded per year nationwide. So if you see anybody with that, they've really done something extraordinary. Next slide, please. There are some other awards. Some of these are not offered by the BSA. Some of them have been de-emphasized, sunsetted, grandfathered, if you will. Let's take a look at those. Next slide, please. So we see this Crime Prevention Award. That's kind of not really a thing anymore. It can still be earned, but you would have to find the patch. Excuse me. Donor awareness is something where the criteria, I believe, can be set by the unit, but usually it's, a Cub Scout gets an adult to sign up to be an organ donor. Historic trails specific criteria, that's still around, but it's earned more by scouts in a troop than scouts in a pack. The Physical Fitness Award has been superseded by the Scout Strong Award. Resource Stewardship at the top right, that's in collaboration with a national park. So it's still there. It's just more typically done by older scouts. The middle row shows a series of awards that were part of the previous program. The books and awards might still be available, but good luck with that. We see in the corners on the bottom, Leave No Trace and Outdoor Ethics. For Cub Scouts, those have been discontinued. The principles were worked into each rank and says, we don't really need to do that. And then in the bottom center, we see these Internet Scout, Internet Mentor Awards. They're kind of like Cyberchip about internet safety. This is not offered by the BSA, but it's something that can be earned and worn. There are a bunch of other awards that didn't quite fit here, but I hope that this has been an interesting trip through the various awards beyond adventures that Cub Scouts can earn. Next slide, please. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. Oh, that update date is not quite correct. I did in fact update this earlier this month. So the update was in October of this year. Anybody have any questions?
So go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Hey, Blaine, I'd like to first say thank you for
You're very welcome.
compiling this huge list. I've been doing scouting for quite a while. I'm trying to get a handle on how it is that you were able to gather all this information together, because in my time looking at what the council offers, what is offered at the national level, it seems that some of this information is kind of in a lot of disparate places, and I'm trying to figure out, did you gather this a lot from your personal experience through the units that you're involved with, through other individuals you know that who have gotten these awards? Because there's not, in my experience, like a single like awards central kind of place where we can go to kind of figure out, you know, my scouts are doing this, there's this, you know, one award that we can work towards. It just seems like there's so many different awards in scouting.
There is actually an awards central page on the BSA website, but it doesn't have all of these awards. So how did I find these? Well, I have a PhD, and so that means I learned how to do research. And so I did my research, and it so happens that I was just able to find a whole bunch of stuff. But it was basically all by, you know, online searches. It started with seeing what was in my son's Cub Scout handbooks, and then learning about some other stuff like the Monterey Bay Trekkers, and like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then my son was so gung-ho. He's like, I want to earn all the adventures. I want to earn all the awards. I'm like, all the awards, huh? Let's find out what they are. And I found lists that other people have compiled, and then I kind of tracked those down to see what I could find out. You know, I have not even begun to scratch the surface of, you know, I haven't included any awards offered by other councils because it seems not as appropriate for us. But I think I've gotten all of the official awards that are current. And I've included some of the older ones just kind of as a reference. And some of them, you know, some of these have, you know, changed. So like, you know, emergency preparedness, that was really a thing when my son joined as a Tiger. He's now Heir of Light, but now it's been sunsetted and they're not really, you know, you can earn it, but good luck finding a pin. So, you know, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, there's a lot out there, and I definitely notice if I go and search for different awards in the counties, right, because the different councils have different awards that they have for activities that can happen in that geography. But yeah, there is no kind of one central place that someone's put all this together. But this is a great asset in terms of what we have locally here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, that reminds me. So a few years ago, I took my family on a trip to Hawaii, and I thought, hey, are there any neat local things we can do for scouting? And it turns out the Aloha Council has a couple of city hikes. So I decided we should earn this really cool award for doing a city hike in Honolulu. And that was a lot of fun. So if you're going to be spending some time elsewhere, look up the local council and see if they have some sort of an award you can earn. And then let me know about it so I can add it to my list.
Great idea. All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions, please, by all means, I'd love to hear.
Hi, this is Chicky from Pack 165, It's
Okay.
not really, it's more of a request actually. So can you
Okay.
please send us the slides? I was trying to jot down notes, but
Right.
it kind of helps with the picture of the of the patch and all that stuff.
So as John mentioned earlier, this is being recorded, and so you'll be able to go on the council's YouTube site and watch the whole thing. And also, I'm going to see about sending a link to participants. The slides are the file's just way too big to send via email. All those graphics just take up so much data. So instead of trying to send you that, I'll just put a link to a Google Drive, and you can download it at your convenience.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? So I guess that means you understood everything I said, know how to earn every patch and where each one goes. Great.
Means you communicated perfectly.
Oh, wow. Thank you, thank you. Okay,
Yes,
well,
help. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That
So
was
I guess it's time to get out those sticks and marshmallows and gather around the campfire and make our s'mores. So it's not an outing. It's not a campfire if we don't have s'mores. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate your attendance. Hope you got something useful out of it. I'd love to hear whatever feedback you have. I believe the council is set up for doing that. Hope you have had a great time tonight and throughout all of the University of Scouting. I'm so sorry that we can't be there in person, but I'm really looking forward to when we can meet again, and we'll love to see you or meet you when we get to come together at presumably Santa Clara High School and do this in person one more time. Okay, John.
Thanks a lot.
Over to you. You're welcome, Jeff.